Good evening, guys. Warm welcome to the program. Today, we are going to see a job description for a planning executive, which is an important function in supply chain management. And of course, in this series of discussion, I am seeing various job description specifically for a multinational company and the domains within the supply chain. So, in this series today, I am going to talk about material planning requirement for a multinational company. So when it comes to planning, there are two important aspects which planning executive has to take care, especially material planning. She has to ensure the availability of material inside the plant, and second one also to ensure availability of material at the customer place. So that is number one. Number two could be inventory optimization. Okay, so you have to provide a better service to customer at the same time maintaining lower inventory. So this is the core planning function. Apart from this, there are some other auxiliary activity. So let us see how this employer is advertising. As we are seeing in the series of discussion, not that all MNC companies give a very clear cut job description, and possibly we have also seen many people are putting the wish list into their requirement, though they are calling for a very junior executive. So this is a live program being streamed across various media. Apart from LinkedIn, this is going live in Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If any one of you have any doubts or clarification, you can always type in the comments. And if you are watching offline, also you can type the comment if you have any doubts or clarification. Okay, let me attach the PowerPoint so that I can start discussing on the topic. Hope you are able to hear me and see the screen properly. So we have been seeing various position in the supply chain. At the moment, I am looking for the job profile at junior to mid level so that it gets a wider exposure. The idea is you are able to find the gap and also understand what are the various terms used by this organization, and so that you are equip yourself, because nowadays the question is the candidates are not even getting the interview. So you should see what skill you are lacking and how to you update your resume, and when you get the interview, what are the points that may be discussed in the interview. So let us go to the program. Before that, let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Pattabhiraman. This is my Udemy profile, as well as I am available in the LinkedIn. I can be chosen with supply chain master as the keyword. Coming to my profile, I am basically an engineer with a PG degree in management and data science. I have been working in this global organization for nearly 25 years. I have been working in various subdomains of supply chain management at various level during my career. In the last 10 years, I have been heading as a supply chain head in this global organization. Currently, last 5 years, I have been heading the current organization known as Software Training Private Limited. Coming to my certification, if you are a supply chain executive, you should be aware about the ASCM and APEX. These are globally recognized certification. So if you are looking for a job in good company, especially multinational company, this certification becomes more of a essential requirement in the current day market, not mandatory, optional right now. So they are becoming essential part of your application process. I also have similar certification from Demand Driven Institute. They are also equivalent to Optics. They provide similar certification like DDPP, means Demand Driven Planner Professional. I am certified purchasing manager as well as project management professional. apart from qualified in analytics. Coming to our organization, we are based in Bangalore, 5-year-old organization. We provide both consulting and training. We are operating under the trade name Expert SEM. Now, let us dive into the job requirement. Today, we are going to see a position from the company Alstom. It's a multinational company, French multinational company operating worldwide, mainly in rail transport market, active in the field of passenger transportation, signaling, locomotive. So this is the brief about the company. It's a very good company operating across the world. The position name is Material Planning Engineer, and the position is based in Nagpur, Maharashtra. So these are the two sheets I could pick up from the site job portal Indeed. It is still active. I have picked this posting today, 23rd March, and it was posted 13 days ago. But this position is still active. Now let us dive into each of this requirement and understand whether the requirements are clear, and are you in a position to fit into this role. And as a company, I am not sure what compensation level they are talking, but they are talking about 4 to 5 years experience. Okay, in planning cum procurement, they are given possibly this role, though it's basically a planning function. They may be looking for a planner buyer concept, which is a evolving concept. So you should be able to plan the material as well as coordinate with the vendor, and you may be reporting dual both to your purchasing manager and supply chain manager. So that kind of job is already there in Europe and US. Possibly such position is expected here, though a title doesn't talk about that. Okay, they are looking for either diploma or B or BTech. Behavioral competencies: agile, proactive, assertive, problem solver. Of course, the salary aspect is not mentioned here. Let us go to each one of this. They have given us a network links. Internally, you should be able to coordinate with the multiple functions like warehouse, sourcing, planning, industrialization. Okay, so it's a multiple role which is not clearly given to whom this position is going to report. Of course, planning has to discuss with the warehouse or other industrial functions. Coming to external supplier, logistic partner, transporters, GSI, key user, RBPE. Okay, as a specification, expectation is okay, but they should avoid some internal abbreviation use. For example, GSI, I don't understand what it is. When I put in Google, I don't get the correct answer. It gives me geographical survey of India. So the employers, especially the people who are writing this job description, should understand that this is being read by external candidate, and as far as possible they should avoid giving these type of terms which outsider cannot understand. Okay, so the external coordination with all the people is okay, including logistic partner, transporters, supplier, because finally the planning guy is responsible in ensuring the material availability. Coming to the overall purpose of the role, this is the statement which I am copying. I am not modifying anything. Support material planners in day-to-day activity related to GSI, KPI monitoring, day maintenance. It's not very clear. Support material planners means possibly this position is also material planner, and in what way? If you are team lead, it is okay. Otherwise, we don't know how what kind of support is expected in this activity. Control the setting of logistic parameter in the ERP system. Not very clear why a planning guy has to enter a logistic parameter. Maybe here they are talking about planning parameters. That's where the EOQ quantity or ordering quantity, MOQ or delivery lead time, all that can be entered. You cannot enter a logistic parameter. For example, if it is an imported component, you are not authorized to change the payment term from XWorks to CAF. Okay, so that's a function done by either core logistic team or purchasing team. So here there is some doubt or clarity is missing in this statement. Of course, ERP, the planning guy is basically responsible, especially PP module or MM module. The candidate is expected to know more specifically. If a candidate is handling MRP, they should know PP, production planning module. Okay, coming to the next statement, create material requisition at proper time, quantity, and delivery lead time. I assume this position is for direct material, so it has to follow the planning hierarchy like SNOP, MPS, and MRP. Then no necessity of creating any purchase requisition. It should be auto generated in the system. If it is a direct material, I hope all these material planners are for direct material, not for indirect material. So there is no question of raising some purchase request or indent outside the system or away from your MRP. Okay, so the wording is not so much clear here. The next one is important planning function in terms of optimizing order quantity, reorder point, safety stock level, and alignment with the material planner and manager. This is the core inventory management task for any planning activity, but only the first statement is creating confusion. Okay, it has to follow the hierarchy of planning, material planning, starting with sales and operation planning, MPS master production schedule, and material requirement planning. And once it is authorized in the SNOP, there is no further authorization is required unless if there are some extraordinary requirement for which special approval is required. Okay, these things I consider as a basic planning function. If the maybe sentence could have been reframed in a better way. Coming to the next statement, support material planners to re-evaluate minimum order quantity for the material to minimize. Once again, it's a inventory management function. So they are talking about minimize stress in supply chain and simultaneously minimize the inventory cost. So this can be straight away. It's a definition for a simple term called inventory optimization. You need to manage the customer service level without any stock out or shutdown, but at the same time you have to operate with a minimum inventory. That's what we call as inventory optimization. Monitor all KPIs, dashboards of planning, warehouse, and publish weekly, monthly reports to management. I hope this is not a simple coordination function. Okay. So the first statement talks about inventory optimization. You should be very strong in deciding order quantity or order timing. All that should be very clear. Dashboards and reports, possibly you need to know some of the analytical tool we use. For example, Excel can be used for a dashboard. On the advanced level, you can use Tableau or Power BI can be used for reports. So these are the analytical tool which we train our candidates. Coming to the next topic, responsibility. Evaluate various assortment and their setting in ERP with the purpose to improve delivery performance by changing this material parameters in ERP. Once again, the person who has written this job description is not very much clear about his requirement. You cannot ask somebody to change the material parameter to improve the delivery performance. It's wrong. Okay, the statement I don't agree. The next statement is also ambiguous. Identify exception messages to generate good material forecast. How? what kind of exception messages can you provide input to good material forecast? I'm not sure the person is talking about. There can be a lot of conflicts. Why? When do you get exception messages? When certain things are not coming or cannot be planned as per the system parameters set, it sends out a exception messages. For example, you need an item within 2 weeks, but the system you might have said 3 weeks as a delivery time. Then there is a conflict. Then you may get a exception message. But how you are going to use that exception message for improving the forecast is not clear. So both of this statement seems to be more ambiguous. Okay, so anyone of you watching, you can type in your comments. Are you clear about this requirement? If not, you can also comment, because I am a neutral person. I am not in the job market, but I am born and brought up in this field, so I have all the rights to ask. Okay, next one is monitor PR and PO aging and follow up with the sourcing and material planner to ensure on time PO placement as per delivery date in PR. All these are automated. Even in traditional companies, you are not going to check PR to PO conversion. Yes, many times it happens automatically by using RPA, robotic automatic process. Of course, PR, PO, aging, I'm not sure why direct material has to go to the purchasing guys. When it is a direct material, it's a one-time negotiation and open order placement. So there is a ambiguity in this statement. Monitor purchase order acknowledgement. Okay, this condition is okay if it is a dual role, buyer planner role. Then getting this acknowledgement is okay. Otherwise, in traditional industry, this is a core function of purchasing, and these things can be automatically monitored. There can be systems set. Okay. Normally, all this are done in a system. I don't know why such a multinational company as making this as a manual request. And PO acknowledgement, it should automatically happen when we release the schedule for direct material. We don't ask for the acknowledgement. They should supply the material. Okay, so there is some ambiguity. Maybe their method of working could be different, but if we follow standard APIX method of process, then most of this statement becomes redundant. Possibly they are struggling with more material shortages and high inventory. That's what I can understand from this statement if they are following this method. Coming to the next statement, periodically report KPI of material planning, warehouse planning, monitor the gaps and secure action plan from person in charge. So once again, it's a repetition. Support material planner to create NCR non-conformance reports, subcontracting purchase order. Okay, but what kind of support is expected for a subcontracting purchase order? The possibly the title of this position can change to buyer planner, so that you can get a person who is having knowledge in both buying as well as planning activity. If anyone of you watching from the organization, it is better to amend the title of this position. Next, monitor aging of material sent for subcontracting and publish reports of aging of such material to provide visibility. This is we call as FSN analysis, fast moving, slow moving, or non moving item. It's not only at your subcontracting vendor, it can also be monitored within your premises, because that's how you can minimize or eliminate obsolescence material. A regular meeting with the material planner on KPI, discuss our performance, identify root cause. Once again, this is a repetition. I am seeing this KPI related activity coming 3 or 4 times, and weekly reporting of finding action to the managers. So all this seems to be reporting, except the first statement. is a core activity of a planning guide, and it's one of the important inventory control techniques. Okay, coming to the others statement, they have given some generalized requirement. In the absence of colleague take over their activity in material planning, initiate the purchase requisition for non-planned material. In fact, this second statement is dangerous. Okay, everything should happen in ERP through SNOP process. I am not sure this organization as a SNOP. You're not supposed to create any request non-planned material unless there is a emergency requirement or customer complaint such item. Once again, you have to take a management approval and order. Other activities such as department meeting, process flow description, fine, that should not be a problem. Unplanned material ordering seems to be a violation. Coming to technical competency, it's MRP is a basic function for a planning guide. Supplier management, once again, if it's a buyer planner concept, yes, fine. If it is only for a planner role, they are not supposed to directly contact the vendor. They have to go through the purchasing. Okay, then only you can get an answer from supplier. SAP material master management. Of course, this master is maintained by development department, not the planning department. So here possibly they are trying to say the candidate should know module, which is not material master management. It's a material management module. So the job description is written poorly. Okay. Some are basic activity, supply management need not be the role unless it is agreed internally. IT skill, they have given basic MS Office product, SAP MM module, Oscott and Kinaxis. They have given Oscott. I tried to find from Google. It talks about some kind of a modeling and simulation software that's okay for analysis. But when I Google up, they say it is used in battlefield modeling and simulation. I'm not sure this organization is trying to adopt such kind of a simulation software in the real time environment, but nothing wrong in using such type of a thing. Of course, Kind Access is a well-known supply chain management and SNOP software. So maybe many of you have also some experience in that. Coming to the leadership skill, these are all soft activity. You may see that in many of the job posting, but being 4 years or 5 years experience, having this kind of a leadership skill is not very clear. But we can include maybe they are a growing leader and you can expect them to become future leader. Okay. So I tried to explain the type of job posting available currently, and you may see a lot of hazards. Maybe many times the employers are not very much clear in the job posting. They use abbreviation which others cannot understand, and many times it could also be a wrong interpretation. So you can see by reading this job description, I understand they have a lot of material problem. Okay, maybe huge inventory on one side and shortages on the other side seems to be a possibility in this organization. So if you want any doubts or clarification, you are welcome to reach us through the websites mentioned or through the WhatsApp numbers given here. Okay, any questions, any of you participating live, you are always welcome to comment so that I can respond to it. So if you want me to discuss any other JDs which you are trying to attend the interview, you can always send that to me so that I can discuss in the upcoming session. So if you are clear, then we will stop here. Thanks for attending the program. Nice evening.